Like I just talked about your album, Where Have I Been, and being able to transmute parts of your life and childhood into an album that has helped so many people through things that they're going through and haven't had the time to reflect on by hearing your story. That's also a big part of what we teach here at Let There Be Art, is not niching down, being open and full with who you are and the things that are authentic for you in your life. And I love the fact that you have been so open and vulnerable. I've seen your journey and how that was something you were nervous about early on in your career, about how much of myself do I share, because we've seen so many artists just kind of sit behind the camera and we only see them on the music videos. We don't get to connect with those people. That's a big thing for me, and what I would encourage our listeners to do is to not niche down in your business and to really take up all the space and all the different things that you love and things that you want to talk about that can be a part of your brand just as much as your main thing.
And I think that's the beautiful part of where we are with the industry right now, because I believe a lot of the reasons why there was so much mystery with artists back in the day was because the labels were the ones who were dictating what their brand was. So it's impossible to be consistent with that if it's not authentic to who you are. And we've seen that a lot of times with artists like, Whitney Houston, for example, as we learn more about her actual story and how that led to her mental health declining, because there is, like you said, it's beautiful. Like, it's a direct correlation between your authenticity being charged and being able to show up fully in your truth and your art and your relationships and everything you do. It's a trickle. It just has that ripple effect if you don't. And so I think a lot of those artists from that generation dealt with a lot of mental health issues because of that disconnect of their authenticity and how the labels wanted them to show up. They wanted her to be the girl next door, but she was questioning her sexuality, and they wanted her to be this prim and proper, pageant queen, and she came from, the streets of Jersey, and like it didn't make sense. So of course they want to keep her, don't say too much, because you're going to give away who you actually are, which I think would have made us love her even more.
Yeah, we would have felt it in the music. And I think that was a big thing, because they were putting her in with, David Foster and some of these other writers and producers. And I think we would have got a whole nother side of Whitney, because, that was a big thing where black people was like, yeah, you can sing, but like you're doing stuff that like we don't necessarily connect with, or it may not be as authentic to your voice. And I can definitely understand, that perspective as a musician, and knowing all that she can do, and her range was so wide, as coming from gospel music and all the things that I'm sure that she wanted to stretch into, that, she was put in this box. And we don't believe in boxes here at Let There Be Art. Like, take up all the space and all the different things that you want to do. Like, sonically, we've been all over the place with the things that we want to do. And that's why I love being independent, is so I can continue to evolve and grow and learn and shapeshift into something else. Like, like you said, we're nothing like we were 13 years ago. Like, we've gone through so many, changes and metamorphoses over that time. And that is ultimately what being a creator is that I'm going to keep learning my way into different parts of myself. We talk about Terrence Howard all the time, and just seeing his trajectory, and just like, no, I'm not just an actor. I want to learn about all these different things. And now this is a whole nother career field that I can step into and still do my acting and still be cool and still, do all the things.
Yeah, I can't wait for our society to get out of that mindset of thinking like, oh, you're really, really good at this one thing, so you can't also be really, really good at this other thing. Like even with music and comedy, or all the different things that we're trying to balance within our individual brands, it being confusing. Like, wait, you do this, but then you do that. Like, well, which one is it?
Yeah.
I'm excited about this new era that we're in, and I think that what we're building with our company is a true reflection of where we finally are as an industry, and just as a society, of just wanting people to be more authentic and more transparent.